Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Ben and I just wanted to share one of my experiences over the last 12 months with you guys. Just a quick note, this is my first video I've ever made. I'm really looking forward to doing a few more. But I thought this story would just be useful to inform some of you of a decision to either stay in or quit your 9 to 5 if you so wish to do so. This is not any advice, this is just my own experience, my own story, and a bit of a cautionary tale, the things that I would have done differently if I had the opportunity to do so again. So let's get into it. So in May this year, I quit my 8 till 5 work from home / 1 day in the office job. It was in a relatively relaxed company. We'd just been taken over by a big American firm, so the way that we were doing things was changing a little bit, and I think everybody was a bit skeptical to see as to what would come from that. As far as I'm aware, my job role wouldn't have changed at all, but I felt like it was the same sort of time that I needed to move on anyway, so everything sort of lined up and everything felt a bit more justified than it probably should have done at the time. So my job role wasn't best suited to me, to be honest. I've got a geography degree and I went into something in the environmental sector, something that I thought would be hands-on, helping, going out to site, cleaning things up and really doing my bit for the world. When I was sold the job, that was the impression that I got, but as it transpired, I was there for 2 years. I went to site once over those 2 years, and while I really enjoyed the people around me and even the job to some extent with its perks of working from home, the flexibility of going in whenever you wanted, and the fact that I didn't really have to do much work at all on the day-to-day basis, I still decided to change tact and actually quit. So when pursuing your dreams, it seems that there's a lot of things on YouTube that tell you to quit your job, quit your 9 to 5, and everything will be 100% happy, sunny, rainbows the whole time you're going through it. You've just got to put in the work. And while that's true, if you haven't already built up the skills, the personality traits of an entrepreneur or somebody who grinds at the stone every day, you may not make it. And that's just a cautionary bit of advice that, I think I've come to learn that in order to actually get stuff done, you've got to get stuff done. Success won't fall at your lap. And while you can put in all the effort that you want to, and while the success stories keep coming on YouTube and TikTok and everywhere else, quit, just sit back, think about it, have a plan, and go from there. So when I quit my 9 to 5, I sat down with my partner. We went through our expenses for each month. We figured out the absolute minimum that we'd need to be making as a couple, because I'd be dropping from a salaried wage, a good salaried wage, to basically nothing if it were not for a part-time job that I actually am doing, and has been getting us by. So I quit my job with about £4,000 in savings, just for emergencies, things like that, and then I had whatever was on top in my current account, a couple of hundred here and there, whenever we need it, sort of thing. In hindsight, I'm super glad that I do have that backstop. A lot of people don't. If I didn't have a backstop, I would not have left my 9 to 5, and I would not have put myself, my partner, or my mortgage in jeopardy for essentially a selfish pursuit. And so while I quit my 9 to 5, I then also picked up a part-time job at my old company that I was at before my 9 to 5. While I enjoyed it at the time and before I started at the new company that I've recently left, I had unrealistic expectations of what that place would be like going back to. I thought everything would be sunshine and rainbows, and I'd just be able to go in, get my money, leave, be happy, work on my business on the side on the free days that I have, and then have the mortgage covered by the job that I was going back to. And while that is correct to some extent, my expectations of the role were not met. There was massive changes structurally, massive changes within the personnel that were around me, and going back to a job that I'd previously worked in a lower level filled me with a lot of anxiety, dread, and unnecessary stress. You've got managers that have never worked with you before, and so don't know that you're capable, but then are explaining things to you like you're brand new to the role, when realistically you know as much as them, or almost as much as them, to be humble. And so my business idea is a service-based business. It's going around servicing bikes for people. It's part of what I do. It's part of who I am. Since lockdown, I've been fixing bikes. Really enjoyed it. This is, mechanical bikes, push bikes, bicycles. While I really enjoy it, I have been pre-warned that there's not a lot of money all year round. It's very seasonal, and you need to be careful about what you actually are going to do. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Do as much as you can, but understand that it's not something that's going to bring you millions. I chased this dream for a number of reasons. First of all, I wanted to have a bigger impact. Secondly, I've always thought that I was worth more than what I was doing at my 9 to 5. And in hindsight, I think I was a bit short-sighted to think of myself as that. The reasons for that are that I lost out on stability, flexibility with my work. I lost out on a very good group of people that I worked with, and I lost out on a potential future that never came. And while I am sad about losing those things, the comfortability of my life at that point was too much for me. It was too easy. Every day was the same. I'd wake up hating the idea of going to work, hating the idea of getting out of bed to roll to my desk, to turn the laptop on, to do the same spreadsheets again and again and again. And while many people may stay with things that they dislike for stability, I was in the privileged position that I had a few thousand saved up. We're in a cheap living situation here. We've got a really cheap mortgage. We're building around our lives around what I'm currently pursuing. And while it was a complete risk to begin with, I don't think I do regret it, because it's put me in a much better mental space than I was in being chained to a desk for 9 hours a day. And when I say chained to a desk, obviously I don't mean that I was in the office. I didn't have to stay there, I could work from home, all of this stuff. But when you've got potential phone calls coming in, potential emails coming in, potential Teams calls being set up all the time, 9 hours a day, it's just not for me. And that meant that when I could have been chilling with a lack of work to do, I couldn't shut my mind off. I couldn't just leave and go and watch TV for 20 minutes, half an hour, because I'd always be on a whirring cycle of thinking about whether the phone would ring, and that was a bit stressful. I'd rather have had consistent work coming through, sitting at the desk constantly, and then being called, because it wouldn't have been quite such a shock as when you don't get called all day and then all of a sudden at 4 p.m. you've got a phone call coming through. And so I just wanted to put this video out there to see what traction it gets, really, to see what other people have done. I'm still going at the business. I don't think I'm going to stop that for a little while yet. I want to see where it goes. But the one thing I will say is that I feel like my mind is thinking of money in a different way now. It's not just thinking I need a job for money. It's thinking about the different ways that our world now allows us to make money. And while I only make a little bit of money off the actual business side of things, I'm happy that I've given myself this time to consider all routes to the golden castle. That I've given myself more opportunity than most people ever give themselves a chance for. I think if you really want it, and if you're in the real position to quit, and you absolutely despise going to work every single day and every single moment of your life, I don't think you've got a lot to lose as long as you've got financial backing behind you. I would not do it without financial backing behind me, but I'm in the position now where I can build something and try things and actually do the things that I've always wanted to do, but have either been too scared, too worried about what people would think about me, or too damn comfortable to give a go in the first place. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to try and build my channel around giving people advice. I hope this has helped give some clarity to show that it's not all sunshine and rainbows for quitting your job. There are tough times. There are times when you've got no money. There are times where you wish that you still had your old job back. But in my experience, the mental clarity, the mental payoff, the ability to think outside the box has been totally worth it.